discussing and summarising the pedagogical reasoning for art education and contemporary art. So we will be discussing work created by 3 of my contemporaries, and that will help us define what contemporary art is, and it will help us define the pedagogical intent of higher education. So let's begin. The first and foremost thing that everyone should be aware of is that art is political. Art is a commodity and it's become consumed by the capitalist constraints to which we all adhere. So art and politics both come hand in hand. A primary example of this is Infiltrated by Serena Ferrin. And here the artist is discussing racial politics. It's a site-specific piece and it suggests that ethnic diversity is needed, if not mandatory, in places of less diversity. However, knowing the artist, it does make it quite difficult to objectively analyse this piece with death of the author, for example, because the artist is of black heritage, and so therefore one can argue that the artist is suggesting that race is an insecurity for them. And that is emphasised by the post-colonial text that is referenced by Fanon, The Fact of Blackness, which you both should check out. And one may even infer that the work suggests that ontology is dependent on binary opposition, which is a rather structuralist view. That therefore juxtaposes the post-colonial text that is referenced in the piece. So once again, this is a prime example of art being political. The second fact that you guys should be aware of with regards to art, and contemporary art especially, is that it is not based on aesthetics. Art is no longer aesthetics. Since Duchamp, he decided that anything can be considered art, and that has been postulated in art ever since he suggested it. And so trying to challenge me and saying that art can be based on merely aesthetics would be a waste of both our times. There's no point in trying to argue it because it's an argument that cannot be justified. If art would only have aesthetic function, the art world itself would be regressing, it would be a form of evolution for us, so there'd be no point in creating art that is based on the Renaissance style of art. You can appreciate that artwork was created during that time, the artwork that was created was amazing. However, there's no point in recreating that kind of style because it'd be a form of regression for us, and we don't want to regress as a community. So creating art in the Renaissance period style will serve no purpose, unless of course it were for humorous intent, because by creating work in that style, it then becomes a concept, which will lead on to the next point. So it's important to bear in mind that everything except traditional art is contemporary art. Considering what I've just said, is Summer Project by Helena Stacey, is that a piece of contemporary art? No one wants to answer? No? A bit shy today? Okay, well, I'll be inclined to say no, it's not a piece of contemporary art. One cannot deny that the artist is displaying technical ability, and clearly that is where this piece succeeds. And there are slight hints towards discussing the profundities of life and death, but this is not a piece of contemporary art because that is not enough. Art cannot just be based on technical ability, and discussing vague, abstract concepts like that is not enough to be considered contemporary art. Contemporary fine art has to have more than aesthetic value, so there's no point in creating a photorealistic image by hand that you can create digitally, basically. You need to be in tune with the technology that is being used and applied to create contemporary art. Leading on to that is the fact that art should be autonomous. It should challenge the pluralistic society in which we live. Therefore, art should not be viewed as heavenly objects, which kind of is being represented by this piece, but more so, art should be viewed as a thought-provoking object, and this piece here is not really doing that right now, so it's not a piece of contemporary art. The final point, and kind of a conclusion, is that contemporary art is informed, it's political, and it has a political relevance also, and it is determined not only by aesthetics, it's determined by more than that. Instead, contemporary art is determined by theory, in particular critical theory. The artist here is dealing with the issue of urbanisation and the continual expansion of industrialisation. And Charlotte Rimmer has a concept with this piece of work. It's informed and it's theoretical, sorry. The piece has been informed geographically and artistically as well by the likes of Lambie and Richter. And remembering that art is not aesthetics, looking at this piece is not simply enough. When you're in an art institution or even with regards to your own practice, it's important to read because that will help broaden your knowledge and it will improve your art practice as a whole. And by doing so, you will be creating what is considered contemporary art. So when you attend exhibitions, it's important not to just look at the art because that won't teach you what the art is about. You won't figure out what the art is trying to tell you. In order to fully understand the work, you must read the curation beside it because now the artist is a theorist. For further information on any of the artists, please visit their websites. And it's important to remember 3 points that have been discussed today when creating your own work in order for you to succeed as a contemporary artist. So you need to remember that art is political, art is not aesthetics, and art is theory. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask.
Yes.
Yes, like a question? Or no? Okay, thank you.
I concur with the statement.
Thank you for your time, guys.
Thank you. Okay.